Good evening. I'm Gary Franchi, Next News Network Chief White House Correspondent, delivering the latest White House news from the past 24 hours in partnership with our streaming ally Trump Daily Posts. Tonight's rundown centers on President Trump's remarks to the Faith and Freedom Coalition, a major Supreme Court win for the administration on immigration, the presentation of the Religious Liberty Commission report, and a White House tribute to America's farmers and ranchers. At the White House and across official administration messaging, the theme of the day was clear: faith, freedom, agriculture, and national strength. Now, we're going to build this around the president's appearance at the Faith and Freedom Coalition 2026 policy meeting, the Rose Garden Farm-to-Table dinner honoring farmers and ranchers, and the presentation of the Religious Liberty Commission report. We're also going to flag continued administration coordination on Iran, deal implementation, border enforcement priorities, and a patriotic message that carried heavily through White House social media. From the pool report at the Washington Hilton, President Trump took the stage at about 1:50 this afternoon to Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA, pumping his fist and drawing a loud standing ovation with chants of USA, USA. Ralph Reed introduced him as the man who gave us the Supreme Court, and the president began speaking about 1:52 p.m. before a crowd energized by the administration's record on faith and constitutional values. The president wrapped that speech at 2:42 p.m. after about 50 minutes. From the pool report, Mr. Trump called this period the golden age of America and touched on religious liberty, the New York Socialist primary victories, Iran, and the 2026 midterm elections. In one of the day's clearest policy victories, the White House said the Supreme Court ruled for the Trump administration and granted it authority to terminate temporary protected status for Haitian migrants. The White House framed the decision as a major America First win tied to stricter immigration enforcement, stronger border security, and reforms designed to put American citizens first. Back at the White House, the pool was brought into the Oval Office about 3:34 p.m., where President Trump began speaking immediately. Now, it did not include the substance of the remarks, but it marked another formal presidential appearance in a day defined by public-facing messaging on faith and national priorities. Minutes later, another pool update stated that President Trump was presenting the findings of the Religious Liberty Commission. That presentation fit directly with the administration's emphasis that American greatness has been forged by people of faith and that religious liberty remains a central White House priority. In the follow-up report, President Trump met with members of the Religious Liberty Commission, including Ben Carson, Attorney General Todd Blanche, Dr. Phil McGraw, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and Paula White. The pool report said the commission's findings had been released earlier in the day, and the president said he wants to promote and implement its recommendations while pointing to what he described as a resurgence of religion in the country. The same pool report also said the president answered questions about Iran and signaled more information would be coming. Now, the travel window between those events moved very quickly. From the pool report, the motorcade returned to the White House at 2:52 p.m. The press pool watched President Trump walk back in on the north side. Earlier in the day, the motorcade departed the White House at 1:26 p.m. for the Washington Hilton, and the report noted that the President Trump his first visit to the Hilton since the assassination attempt that led to the postponement of the White House Correspondents Association dinner. 4 minutes later, at 1:30 p.m., the motorcade did arrive at the Hilton without incident. Tourists and locals lined the route. They were seen taking pictures and video as the president traveled to the event. According to the daily guidance, the president's official Friday schedule included executive time, an Oval Office policy meeting, and an intelligence briefing, remarks at the Faith and Freedom Coalition 2026 Policy Conference, another Oval Office policy meeting, signing time, and an evening RNC reception at the White House. The guidance laid out a full day centered on governing, movement, and public engagement. The other major visual event from the past 24 hours came in the Rose Garden, where President Trump addressed guests at a special farm dinner and highlighted an administration request to Congress for an additional $11 billion in farm aid. Also from the pool, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins handling distribution, and the event carried unmistakable Heartland detail with cowboy hats in the crowd and rustic decor and a White House farm stand bar. The report also said a vacuum truck briefly interrupted the president's remarks, and he laughed it off before continuing. The dinner itself showcased American agriculture from start to finish. The pool report included the menu, a caprese salad with garden tomatoes, grilled prime New York strip steak, and roasted peaches for dessert, with guests receiving organic garden seeds and tomato jam prepared by the White House executive chefs as take-home gifts. By early evening today, the press pool was informed of a dinner lid until 7 p.m. That marked a routine pause in the public updates after a packed stretch of presidential events. One administrative note in the email traffic included a pool report dated June 25th, yesterday, describing a 7 p.m. speech and 7:26 p.m. lid, but that item identified President Biden, even though President Trump's in the office, because that pool copy conflicts with the current White House context. It does not drive today's rundown. So across the last 24 hours, the administration projected momentum on faith, immigration, enforcement, agriculture, and core constitutional priorities, with President Trump visible in public, active in the Oval Office, and backed by a Supreme Court win on border policy. And that is the White House picture tonight.